Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right.
Judge, what he's talking about, I've seen the text. It didn't come from my office. It was an automated, text from, or email from Bear County. And for some reason it said the 29th, but it said 12 a.m.
Well, nobody's gonna be there 12.
I know.
All right, so Norma, what date again? May 9th. All right, so your date is gonna be May 9th. You get a reset form, and that's May 9th at 9 a.m. You understand?
9 a.m. Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I'm gonna ask that the BF and the warrant be recalled. All right, if there's nothing else, once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge. Have a blessed day.
All right, you too. And for being late, you came in dressed appropriately for court. I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am. I was at work.
Okay. Is that Jimmy John's? What's that, JJ? I'm wondering. All right, is there anyone else who's ready? Then, Mr. McCray, just let me know when you're ready to proceed.
Yes, ma'am, not too much longer.
Oh, take your time.
Thank you.
Might be late. I know it. My mom has one out loud from me here. I didn't find it. Like, so I have 10 or 2, but I just can't eat it. And mine.
Los Hernandez?
Judge, we're conferring about the
Right. All right, is this gonna be an agreement?
family, so, we're trying to reach a bit of a better.
All right. half of 45 years in the prison. There's an affirmative finding of family violence, and the state opposes your application for deferred adjudication. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report, state?
No.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
And the defense counsel did email to the court a report by Dr. Murphy. He included the state in that email as well. Neither party had any objections to the court reviewing that before sentencing. It is the court's understanding both parties wanted to make sure that I had reviewed that. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Yes.
All right, so the court has reviewed the documents that you supplied defense. State, do you have any witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor. We would call Cindy Loma Gonzalez.
All right, if you come forward, please.
And Your Honor, we are going to vote the rule.
All right, defense, do you have witnesses in the room?
Yes, Mr. Beltran and Mr. Mendoza.
All right, Mr. Beltran and Mr.
Stand
Mendoza.
up.
The rule has been invoked, and what that means is you can't do anything about this case. Sorry, the rule has been invoked. What that means is you cannot review anything about this case. You can't watch witnesses' testimony. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, do you understand, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
When they testify, you'll have to go into the hallway.
All right, so if you'll wait in the hallway. All right, could you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. Have a seat. Make sure you keep your voice up so that I can hear, court reporters can hear, and attorneys can hear. State your name for the record.
Cindy Lima.
All right.
All right. Good afternoon, Ms. Lima. How are you presently employed?
I'm an investigative supervisor with Child Protective Services,
And how long have you been with Child Protective Services?
going over 10 years.
Do you know an individual named Katrina Rose Mendoza?
Yes,
Do you see her in court today?
yes.
Can you describe our court relations with her?
She's wearing red and pink sandals.
How are you familiar with
My first encounter with her was in 2018 when I investigated a case of abuse and neglect of her children.
And who, you said her children, who are her two children?
Mercedes and Jordan Lozoya.
And who was the subject of that, of the two children, who was the suspected child that was being abused?
Mercedes Lozoya.
And when you investigated that case, did you meet with the girls?
I did.
Did you meet with Katrina?
I did.
How many times can you estimate that you met with them?
Maybe 7, 8 times.
Did you talk to Katrina about how to be a parent?
Yes.
Was that a brief conversation, or was this something at length that you talked about?
Lengthy conversations several times, different days.
What about classes? Did Katrina have to complete any classes or anything with CPS?
Yes.
And what kind of classes did that include?
She was, during the 2018 case, she was referred for ongoing services with the department, meaning that she needed to go through parenting, drug treatment, drug assessments, and anything else that the department recommended at that time.
And to your knowledge, did she complete those trainings?
I believe she did.
At any time, were Mercedes and Jordan removed from Katrina's custody?
Yes.
When was that?
Back in 2016.
And what was the reason for that?
Mercedes was deemed failed to thrive, and there was physical neglect in the home, and they were not able to care for the children.
And then you said you had the case in 2018, correct?
Correct.
Were there any other cases filed with CPS prior to 2022?
Yes.
How many?
6. involved in the last case prior to Mercedes passing.
When was the final case that was filed? When was that report?
It was November 27, 2021.
And what, if anything, happened with that case?
There were different referrals that the department would receive. We were attempting to meet with the mother. I think that we met with mom a total of 4 times. Each time we were able to see the children and the mother, and we were trying to come up with some resolution on her case. We set up something that's called a family team meeting to be able to get her support network to see what was going on. There were several concerns during that case in that we needed the family support to be present in order for us to know what to do next with her case.
In any of those meetings, did Katrina ever express that one or both of her girls were being abused?
No,
Did the girls ever outcry?
no.
In general, what was the behavior of the girls when they were observed?
Just happy children, very bonded. Nothing that we could have seen.
Did the name Jose ever come up?
No.
When was the last time that CPS was able to see the girls?
The last time that CPS saw the children was January 19th of 2022
And where were the girls supposed to be living?
at the Hallmark Beltran's home, the
Who
god
was-
parents.
I'm sorry, just 1 second, could you repeat that, please?
Hallmark Beltran's home.
And how is Homer Beltran related to Katrina and the girls?
He is the godparent to Katrina Mendoza.
And so Katrina and the girls were supposed to be living with him.
Correct.
When was, you said January 19th, 2022 was the last time the girls were seen. Were there any other dates that were planned at that time?
Yes.
What was that?
It was January 25th of 2022.
And why is it that CPS did not see the girls that day?
Because that's when the mother and Mr. Beltran got into an altercation, and the mom left with the children from that residence.
At that time, did you have any specific concerns about the girls?
Yes.
What were those?
The family members began to speak and said that they had concerns with Katrina and her parenting and the way that she treated her children.
Did you know where she went with the girls?
No.
Did you at any time learn about a boyfriend that Katrina had?
Yeah, it was that day that we learned about a boyfriend, and the only name given was Jose.
What attempts, if any, were there to find the girls?
We tried every address that we could possibly try. We tried any phone numbers that we had for Katrina, since she had changed different numbers throughout the case. We tried going to the schools to see if the children would show up at school. We did everything we could possibly do. We have something that's called UTC checklist, which we have to complete in order for us to obtain any CPS records, any records from SOS, anything from the community that can give us access to other addresses to find the children and the mother.
On January 25th, was there any communication from Katrina?
She had asked to reschedule the family team meeting to February 2nd, 2022.
And what happened on February 2nd?
Nobody showed up.
And what day was it that Mercedes
It was February 7th, 2022.
I'll pass the list.
Just briefly, you started investigating this illness back in 2019 for what you described as neglect and failure to thrive. What would you define that?
Yeah, in 2016, there was an investigation that was deemed, that the mother and the father were deemed neglectful for physical neglect of their own children.
What did you discover was the neglect?
Mercedes was failed to thrive, meaning that she wasn't getting enough feedings, and she wasn't being fed, and she wasn't getting enough nutrients on her body, so her body was not thriving.
Okay, was there any, you call that neglectful, failing to thrive, did you discover any physically assaultive type injuries at that time?
I didn't personally investigate that case.
Okay, well, I thought you first got involved in
2018.
2018, I wrote down 2019. So, but what were you investigating in 2018?
It was a physical abuse case.
And what was the ultimate ruling in that case?
It was a reason to believe, meaning guilty of physical abuse.
Was that the handprint case?
Correct.
Okay, and I think the court heard about that during the jury trial. And then moving forward, when was the next investigation?
The one that I was supervising was in 2021, November 27, 2021.
21, what were you investigating?
Physical abuse, concerns of physical abuse.
Okay,
And
what was that?
we received different concerns with the way that Katrina would parent her children, and concerns that she was leaving bruises on the children.
You discovered some bruises.
There was a bruise found on Mercedes at the beginning of the case. The children were able to explain how that
I'm gonna go see if he's ready real quick, and I'm gonna take this off my pocket real quick. I'm gonna take this out of my pocket. Huh? Yeah, no, I haven't done mine. I was waiting on you. But I'm just taking the stuff out of my... just so I don't have all this stuff hanging out of my pocket. You good?
Yeah, I'm just ready to see.
You want to hear mine real quick?
You want to do a practice run with me, bro? We can do it over there if you want. You're good, man.
I'm just gonna go.
Yeah, got it.
Jason's texting me. Right here. I'm gonna have to refer to my notes too. Y'all good?
Okay, just start with your name, last name, and title.
Good. Kenny J. Mata, Texas Department of Public Safety, Texas Highway Patrol. I'm with Safety Education, Media and Communications, stationed here in San Antonio. Need my email?
Sure, I'm ready.
Email?
Yeah, go for it.
Email is going to be Kenny, Kenny, .mata, M-A-T-A, at dps.texas.gov. So earlier today, Texas Department of Public Safety troopers attempted to conduct a traffic stop on a black Dodge Caravan off of IH-35 southbound in Comal County near Psalms Road for a traffic violation. The vehicle failed to comply with the traffic stop, evading law enforcement officials, reaching speeds of up to 110 miles per hour. While evading, the vehicle crashed into a white Chevrolet Tahoe off of State Loop 1604 near FM 78 in Bexar County. The trooper made contact with the suspect, who continued to. The trooper approached the suspect and made contact with him. I'm sorry. The trooper made contact with the individual, who continued to ignore commands. The trooper attempted to tase the suspect several times, but was unsuccessful, leading to an officer-involved shooting shortly after. Life-saving measures were performed on the suspect. The suspect was transported to BAMC with life-threatening injuries. The suspect was later pronounced deceased at BAMC. The suspect did have a female passenger on him. The female was transported to Northeast Methodist Hospital with unknown injuries at this time. The Chevrolet Tahoe was occupied by a male and a female. The female was transported with undisclosed injuries to Northeast Methodist Hospital as well. So, I think that's all I have. The Texas Rangers are assisting with the investigation at this time. There are no further details available.
The trooper was there a struggle between the suspect and the trooper?
Right now, the Texas Rangers are still going to review the body cam footage, and they're going to review the dash cam footage, and they're going to figure out the facts of the situation.
So the trooper feared for his life, and he had to use his service weapon to defend himself?
Those answers are unknown at this time.
It was just that one person was shot.
Yes, sir.
The female wasn't shot.
Correct. The female sustained injuries due to the crash. The suspect was struck one time that we know of at this time, and again, like I said, he sustained life-threatening injuries and was later pronounced deceased at BAMC.
Do we have an age?
38-year-old male.
Was he from Comal area or?
Well, unknown at this time.
Okay.
They're still trying to identify the individual.
What was the initiative stop for?
It was a traffic violation. I had asked the officers earlier, and they're still trying to gather that information for us right now.
Is there anything? Are you doing this?
You can continue to ask away if you want.
Well, there's only the trooper shoot one time or several times?
At this time, we don't have that information. I was told that the suspect was struck once, so.
You know where he was struck?
In the chest.
And he was tased multiple times, you said?
Yes, I was told that the trooper attempted to tase the suspect several times, but was unsuccessful, leading to the officer-involved shooting.
And the victims of the white truck, they sustained injuries and they were okay?
I'm sorry?
Transported the victims of the white pickup truck, did they sustain injuries? But they were transported?
Yes, the passenger, the female passenger of the white Chevrolet Tahoe, did sustain injuries. Those injuries are unknown at this time. She was transported to Northeast Methodist Hospital, and the male passenger, I was told, is still on scene.
Can you tell us a little bit about what happened earlier in Comfort? What
female passenger, was that his wife or was that just the passenger?
I was told that that was his significant other. I cannot confirm that at this time.
The 38-year-old man was pronounced deceased. Did he have a passenger in his car?
Yes, ma'am, he did. The female passenger, she did sustain injuries that are unknown at this time, and she was transported to Northeast Methodist Hospital by ground.
Any weapons recovered in the suspect's vehicle?
They're still going through the scene at this time right now, trying to see if there are any weapons involved.
And the people inside, sorry, it's hard to hear. The people inside the Chevrolet Tahoe that they crashed into,
Yes, ma'am.
how are they doing?
The female passenger of the Chevrolet Tahoe, she was the passenger. She was transported to Northeast Methodist Hospital as well for unknown injuries, and the male driver is still on scene with no injuries. As far as the crash from this morning, a crash occurred on I-10 eastbound in Comfort near mile marker 523, 524. Preliminary investigation suggests that an 18-wheeler and a pickup truck were involved in a crash, possibly due to fog and speed. A female motorist attempted to assist with traffic control. She stepped out of her vehicle to try and wave vehicles off to slow down, and an 18-wheeler. I'm sorry, I had brain dumped this one earlier. Let me see.
I'll take your time.
Damn, this thing's hot. The leather, oh gosh. Whew. I was hoping to be in the Fiesta Parade, right? Following the initial crash, a female motorist stopped to assist with traffic control in an attempt to get vehicles to reduce their speeds. An 18-wheeler also traveling eastbound on IH-10 tried to avoid the initial crash and veered off into the center median where the female was standing and could not avoid her, striking her and killing her on scene. Shortly after, there was another crash that occurred where a vehicle could not get out of the way in time and crashed into the initial crash. There were several individuals that were transported to area hospitals. I don't have the information on which hospitals they were taken to at this time. All we have is one female was pronounced deceased on scene. She was the one that was struck by the 18-wheeler.
That fog caused multiple accidents?
Right now, the investigating troopers, we did have the crash team out there. And what it's looking like is the possible, I guess the possible factors of the crash leading to the crash. It was possibly because of speed and fog.
And it was the lady that was trying to divert traffic that got struck?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else? We're good.
Orlando.
We warmed you up, buddy. Let's go. Good, bro.
They got me, man. I'm gonna go sit in the car now, right?
Yeah, you're good.
Here, you wanna
Yeah, sure.
put that in your back pocket?
Go back to Spanish.
Okay.
It's not gonna be a problem for us.
Are we live right now?
No.
Okay.
I got like 5 hours to take, bro. We could go.
I've been practicing it. Yeah, all right.
They got me on the crash from this morning.
Yeah. Do you think you could give any tiny details on that?
Get this
As
one
generic
first.
as possible.
I'll get this one first, because I don't really.
That one first, and then take a second to look it over because I messed up the crash
Okay.
this morning.
Yeah, I have to look at it.
As we were driving here, we were riding the one up for this morning.
Can you get a little closer?
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Give me a quick second. There we go.
You can just look at me. All right, we're ready. Anytime.
All right. Do you need me to say my name or anything?
Yeah.
Okay. My name is Orlando De Luna Jr. Orlando Deluna Jr. And Sergeant with the Texas Department of Public Safety.
Perfect. So
Okay.
tell us a little bit about what's happening here today in Spanish.
Okay. So, primero todo, ahora es preliminar, ¿ok? Pero más temprano hoy, una trooper con el Departamento de Seguridad Pública de Texas intentó parar un Dodge Caravan en I-35 y Psalms Road en el condado de Comal. El vehículo no se paró y evadió en todas partes de Bexar County, donde se chocó aquí en 1604 con una blanca Chevrolet Tahoe. El trooper se acercó al sospechoso y el sospechoso no quería seguir las órdenes de ser arrestado. El trooper intentó disparar con una pistola eléctrica, pero no tuvo éxito, conduciendo en un tiroteo. Se tomaron medidas para salvarle la vida del sospechoso, pero no tuvo éxito. Se tomaron medidas para salvarle la vida. Let me redo that part over again, okay? I was doing good, but then it jacked me up. All right. It was good. It was flowing good until then, right? Yeah. Okay. El trooper intentó disparar con una pistola eléctrica, pero no tuvo éxito, conduciendo en un tiroteo. Se tomaron medidas para salvarle la vida al sospechoso y EMS lo transportó a BAMC Hospital, donde luego lo declararon fallecido. Los Texas Rangers están ayudando con la investigación y la investigación continúa y no hay más detalles disponibles en este momento.
Estaba diciendo tu compañero de que en un momento estaban yendo más de 100 millas por hora en la persecución.
Sí.
¿Me podías decir algo de eso?
Pues sí, estaban what do you say, 110 miles per hour?
Más de 100 millas.
¿Más de 100 millas? ¿Más de 100?
Sí.
Oh, sí, estaban manejando más de 100 millas, pero en las carreteras ¿cómo se dice? How do you say it? Yeah, I'll just redo that again. Sí, el sospechoso estaba manejando más de 100 millas.
Y luego dijo que le dieron varios atentos de tratar de agarrarlo con el taser, pero no.
Sí, pero no quería, ¿cómo se dice? How do you say it? How do you say he didn't want to comply? No quería cumplir. Comply. Cumplir. No quería seguir las órdenes. Sí, no quería seguir las órdenes del trooper. I don't know what else to say.
Y eso es lo que resultó que le dieran una bala, que lo balearon en el pecho, ¿no?
Sí, el trooper let me see. El trooper, how would I say it? He was...
Estaba resistiendo órdenes y tuvo que lamentablemente dispararle en el pecho.
Estaba resistiendo órdenes y luego, what did you say?
Estaba resistiendo órdenes.
No quería seguir las órdenes de ser arrestado. Si no quería seguir las órdenes de ser arrestado, y luego es como condució el how do you say, tiroteo, el tiroteo. You want me to say it again smoother?
Yeah.
Okay. Where are we starting from?
No tuvo efecto la pistola eléctrica y...
Sí, no tuvo efecto la pistola eléctrica, luego condujo un tiroteo.
Y dices que fue pronunciado ya muerto.
Sí, en el hospital.
Y hubo otras personas involucradas, me estaban diciendo que hubo una señora también que fue...
Sí, él tenía una pasajera y creemos que ella está en el hospital.
¿Y de la camioneta blanca?
Sí, una está, how do you say it? One got transported to the hospital.
Fue transportada al hospital.
Sí, la mujer fue transportada a un hospital aquí local.
eso era el resultado del choque.
Sí, del choque.
Perfecto. Is there anything else? Something I might have missed out?
No, you got his age or no? El hombre tenía 38 años,
Ajá.
más o menos 38 años.
¿Verdad?
Sí.
Y no, todo esto comenzó porque era una orden de paradero de tráfico, era traffic stop.
Sí, era traffic stop. Sí, sí, el trooper quería parar el Dodge Caravan por una, ¿cómo se dice traffic stop? Digamos una parada.
Ajá.
Sí, el trooper quería parar el Dodge Caravan y luego el Dodge Caravan se evadió en todas partes de aquí de Bexar County y luego chocó aquí en 1604 con esta blanca Chevrolet Tahoe.
Thank you so much. You want to talk a little bit about the other thing? It's just super generic, man. He had said something about traffic conditions due to fog. There was an accident. Some lady tried to pull over to divert traffic, and she ended up getting struck.
Let me see.
That could have been a fog or speed. And then after that, there was other various accidents in that area due to the same situation.
Okay, let me just try and. Man, esta mañana ocurrió un accidente en IH-35, IH-10. La investigación, pretty much. Just very generic.
apoya para justicia, para que haya familias y más resources para poder ayudar a las familias, para ayudar a los niños. Porque si no, pues, ¿a dónde queda?
Repíteme una vez más tu nombre y tu apellido.
Gloria Villanueva.
El año en el que pasó el caso de tu hija.
El 2020.
¿En qué mes?
En junio.
Ella conoce a Mark. Mark is
regardless of others' comments about his like it was a trend with these teenagers. It wasn't categorizing him as a thief or a gang member. Ethan wasn't he ran by himself. He didn't leave.
We want justice for our kids who were murdered. We have no answers. We have no justice. We have no closure. And we are mothers of murdered children who want answers, and we keep getting ignored by SAPD. We keep getting lied by the homicide detectives. We get ignored, period. They don't return our calls. It's been months since they contact the parents, days, weeks, and every time they do call us, they don't know anything, or they can't tell us anything. The Bexar County DA's office keeps losing evidence on families of murdered children. I don't know if it's between the SAPD, homicide unit, or the DA, Bexar County, with everything that's going on. They failed a lot of families here in Bexar County. There's a lot of mothers out here with no justice. And the Bexar County DA's office keeps losing everybody's evidence. They have no answers to our questions. They cannot look us in the face and tell us what happened to our kids. Why our kids' killers are walking free. Why they're not protecting families of murder victims. Why they don't have answers. Do they not care? I don't think they care. To them, it's just another murdered kid, murdered person with the name, with the number, and a file on top of their desk waiting for the court to get closed. That's how they see our children. I was told by one of the detectives that he only had VIP cases on his desk. The detective that was seeing my son. VIP cases on his desk only. This is from Detective Robert Bennell, lead detective of the San Antonio Homicide Unit. All these parents, their kids are VIP to them. These are our VIPs, and we want all the cases to be treated the same.
Amen.
Everybody, not choose one case and go all out on the case, not choose this case to get justice or that case. No, every murdered victim from Bexar County deserves justice. They're all right here. Every murdered victim deserves justice, and we want answers.
Guys, if we can move this way, please. Thank you. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah,
Déjame conectar. Está bien.
Am I talking like this? Can you hear me, or do I gotta be louder? Louder? So first of all, we want to thank everybody that has came out today. And I know a lot of families are just meeting each other today for the first time. It's very unfortunate that we have to meet under these circumstances. But today, the family of Neve Martinez, who is my niece, and we have mom as well, we decided to plan a protest for a couple of reasons. One, today Neve would have been 18 years old. Two, because she wasn't alive on May 10th of 2022, and we still have no answers. So, along with my family and the rest of the families here, we have joined today to come in unity to ask SAPD why we have no answers and why no accountability has been held. So, the goal of this protest is to bring awareness to our loved ones' cases. Help us and join us in the process to keep their names alive. My family will not stop until justice is served for Neve. So before we begin with the family speaking, I would like to thank Ananda with Acts for SA. I would like to thank Ms. Deb with the Marquise Jones Foundation and Big Mama Safe House for coming out to show support and for always supporting us in the background. So first to speak, we have mom, which is Linda Espinosa, and that is the mother of my niece, Neve Martinez.
Go, Linda. Love you.
I'm here today for my daughter Neve.
You can pull that thing off too.
Hold it. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm here today on behalf of my daughter Neve Martinez. She was murdered. May 10th of 2022. Today is her birthday. She would have been 18. And they took her from me. They took her from her brother and sister, her family. I want justice. I want the SAPD to follow up with me, give me answers, updates, not just with me, but with all these other families.
Yes.
They don't got answers to their loved ones. We're here fighting to change the system, and for them not to just choose and pick who they want. All these families want answers to their loved ones. I do. My kids do. I sit here every day wondering what happened to her. I don't have no details what happened to her. I just want answers. And thank everybody that's been here helping us, and we'll get justice.
Next to speak, we have the mother of Ethan Martinez, 15 years old, Stephanie Solis.
My name is Stephanie Solis, mother of Ethan Martinez, who was killed on the night of December 30th, 2023. Tomorrow will be 4 months since his murder. Till this day, no justice has been served. Tons of information has been provided to the detective, and yet no one has been arrested or even questioned. His phone has been processing for 3 months now. I was just told today that it came back, but with no report, so I have to wait longer for the report. Not sure what the use of that department is if this is the time frame that we're left with. There has to be a faster way to get things text, posting on social media, thinking that taking my son's life is some street credit. My son was set up by his bullies, a gang that haunts the streets of Marbach and the halls of mainly Stevens High School. So much that I've been told that all of Ethan's friends know that almost everyone at the school knows exactly who did it but are too scared to speak up. If you don't know, Crime Stoppers is an anonymous tip line. There's a $10,000 reward for him, so please, put yourself in my shoes. If this was your son, your brother, your dad, your cousin, you would want someone to speak up. Why not get them off the streets and out of the school hallways so it's a safer place for everybody? Parents, talk to your kids. The halls of Stevens High School are being bullied by this gang. My son will never be able to experience prom, graduating from high school, go to college, follow his dreams of becoming a barber or a tattoo artist. I will never be able to hold my son again, watch him get married, be blessed with grandkids from him. I have to live with the pain each and every day of not having him here, yet be strong enough to hold it together for my younger babies. Each time they think of him and just cry because they don't understand where brother is. Because you kids wanted to take his life. For what? Because y'all didn't like him? Because y'all were jealous of him? Because he made a comment. That is why. No reason is good enough for you guys to have taken my son's life. I'm here to be his voice, to let the detectives know that this is not going to go cold. I will call every day if I have to, come to headquarters every day or week if I have to. Me and my family will not rest until we get justice for my son.
That's right. Yes.
And next we have Isaiah Rioja's mom, Guadalupe Castro. Sorry.
This is my son, Isaiah Luke Riojas, murdered August 15, 2020 by his so-called friends. These kids smiled in his face, picked him up that day, they acted like his friends. The night of August 14, 2020, he was assaulted, robbed, shot on back of his head, execution style, dragged like an animal through an apartment hallway in the west side of San Antonio, the Rosemont Apartments, and left for dead. When the first arriving officer arrived, all 4 kids were on their phones calling their friends that my son was dead. The driver left, went to notify us at my house that my son was dead, went to go hide the gun in a trash can with my son's phone, washed the car off of Fredericksburg Road and abandoned the car. And guess what? SAPD Sergeant Raul Cardenas called it a manslaughter accidental shooting. Arrested 1 out of 5. Since today, I'm here to be my son's voice. I don't know if these detectives are lazy, don't want to do their job. They have 20-something plus years with the San Antonio Homicide Unit, and they do it intentionally, losing the evidence, lying. I was threatened to get arrested by SAPD because I questioned my son's investigation. My other son was threatened to get arrested by SAPD and the DA because I said what that police report says is not the truth to my son's murder. Witnesses went into the SAPD here to give statements of how these 5 set up, assaulted, and robbed my son, how he was left for dead. Sergeant Raul Cardenas said he was not going to use the statements of the witnesses who came in to give their statement. And they refused to get my son's killers off the streets. These detectives are wrong. I don't know what side of the law they're on, but we want justice. We might not be police officers, we might not be detectives, we are mothers. And we're not stupid, we're not dumb. We want justice. You can lie to our face, but we know the truth. We know the truth. We know our kids suffered. And these were 3 girls and 2 guys who told SAPD that they're my son's BFFs.
Nobody got him help. The cops said they left him for dead. I asked Detective Bunnell, can I hold my son that night? He said no, because his head was almost blown off from the back. And they want to call it a manslaughter? No. It was said in court that they assaulted my son. And my son's 4 killers are still walking free with the criminal background. They already had a criminal background. They already had, robberies, running from the cops, and they still dropped the charges. The San Antonio DA dropped the charges. Dropped the charges because there was no insufficient evidence, because they lost all my son's evidence. All the evidence that was accounted for, there's police reports, there's pictures. Guess what? SAPD lost all my son's evidence. Even the doorbell ringer where they were dragging my son like a dog by his arms and his legs. And SAPD still did for my son's killers. Now I can't even get a call back from the detectives. I can't even get a call back from the DA because the prosecutor, when I spoke up in court, wasn't there 3 days later when I called to ask for her. Now she's in Kendall County. Gretchen Flater, who has a history of doing the same thing, lying to parents at the Harris DA's office. Why would the DA here in Bexar County allow her to come and do the same thing to us, to my family? My son deserves justice. He suffered in the hands of these 5. Not even an animal gets killed the way my son was killed. My son was found in the dark with his eyes open and cold. And these detectives want to say it was a manslaughter. Jaime Riojas only got 10 years for murdering my son. The other ones are free, home with their families for every holiday, their birthdays, having kids. My son didn't have kids. My son didn't have a criminal background. It doesn't matter if they have a criminal background, they don't. Nobody deserves to get murdered. That's right. Nobody. That's right. And right away, these cops, you see them on the news, oh, he's a former drug user. Or he's a former gang member. It doesn't matter. They're human beings. They have families. They have kids. Nobody deserves to get murdered. And all we want is justice. This needs to stop. The gun violence needs to stop. The gang banging, these bullies needs to stop. Because they choose their victims wisely. They know. And to all these little boys out here, be careful, because these little girls are the ones setting all these little boys up. Be careful who you call your friends, who you bring around your family, who you trust, and let them know what's going on in your life, because they will come back. The same as these 5. And they're walking free, having kids. I can't even hold my son. I can't even tell him how much I love him. Because they're out there free, committing crimes, thanks to San Antonio Police Department.
So we're going to break really quick, and while this break, while I have the other family members come up, we're going to do a chant, okay? If you don't know it, I will teach it to you. It's very quick. So while I say, what do we want? You guys are going to say, justice. When I say, when do we want it? You're going to say, now. Ready? Let's go. What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
If we don't get it, shut it down.
Shut it down.
If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
What do we want?
Justice.
I can't hear you on this side. When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
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 All right, we have mother of Julian, Miss Lydia Leos.
I think I already talk loud enough. How do I do it? No, I don't. Hi, my name is Lydia Leos. Thank you everybody, for showing support. Thank you to the news for being here. My case is fighting for changes in a system that's broken. My son Julian went into jail at the Bexar County Jail on August 27, 2020. He was not properly searched because according to them, he was able to ingest methamphetamine. They knew, they saw it, call 911. They did nothing to help him. A nurse, whoever she is, came, checked the vitals, and said, let's wait to see what happens. They threw him in a dry cell by himself. A dry cell has nothing in there, just him, that's it. According to a nosy, trusty inmate that looked into a window 5 hours later, my son had had a massive heart attack. He had been taken out of there 98% brain dead. I was left with nothing but to go disconnect life support because I was told he was going to be a vegetable. Whatever my son did, he did not deserve the jail to be the jury, the judge, and the executioner. He would have gone to court for that. We have our judges, we have our lawyers. Whoever took him into the jail that morning had a job to do, which was to properly search. Again, we just had a case, not even a month ago, where the young man walked into the jail with a semi-automatic pistol in his pants. Failure to properly search. We need to hold them accountable because they keep dropping the ball. And then they blame us as the parents. It's not us. If you have a facility that's going to house someone in there, you better be ready to protect them for whatever happens in there. That's not our job anymore once he's in your custody. Right. That is your job. That's exactly right. So this is where I'm at, trying to make changes as to how a nurse can just say, let's wait to see what happens. Or a guard to notice that there was substance on the mouth and nobody made the call to 911. That's where they dropped the ball, not me as a parent. So that's what I'm trying to do again. Justice, changes in the system, and I'm just like them. My son passed away, and I'm looking for something that can come up. The DA system, guys, if you're expecting something, don't. They run the cases so long that your time expires. My case went for a year until they finally told me they could do nothing about it. So I tattooed right here, we're still investigating, because for a year, that's all my answer was. We're still investigating right here. Sorry, my legs are ashy. But that's what I did in honor of my son, because those were the only answers that I ever got. We're still investigating. That's all y'all are gonna hear. And I wish I could tell you it was different, but it's not. That's all we get from the DA. And they don't look you in the face when they tell you they can't do nothing. They tell you to go out there and pay for, I don't know how much, thousands of dollars for attorneys to still tell you the same thing because they ran the clock on you. There's no more time to do anything. So